My name's Kevin and I'm an addict, and I'm 38 years old. I was born in Michigan and I was raised in North Jersey. I'm the third son out of 4 boys. There's 4 children. My parents split when I was 8 years old. My mom moved to South Carolina and brought all 4 boys with us. So she was a young immigrant, uneducated woman trying to raise 4 young children in South Carolina and go back to school to try to educate herself. So my mom wasn't around as much as she should have been because she was doing the best she could to provide for 4 growing boys. So we had a lot of time on our own. So when mom was gone, they let me drink with them while she was gone, so that way they didn't get in trouble because I had to tell on myself to tell on them. So my drinking started at a very early age. I remember drinking on a regular basis about 8 years old. By the time I was 12, I was actively using marijuana, and I was already on probation because of sneaking out and being vandal and stuff like that. My progression goes very fast. By the time I was 15, I was an active cocaine user and I was locked up in a juvenile detention center. By the time I was 18, 6 days after my 18th birthday, I got my first DUI, and that was in February. By the time Christmas rolled around of that year, I had got 2 more DUIs and a felony drug trafficking charge. I was 19 years old, I was sitting in prison, and that was the first time I stuck a needle in my arm. That was the first time I used heroin intravenously. The next, all of my 20s went the same way, bigger and better ways, in and out of county jail, in and out of prisons. I had packed up all my stuff and I moved to Atlanta because that's where my brothers had relocated to. And I went there to try to get away from things, but I've learned that I can't move away from my addiction. So I was 35 years old and I tried to do something for myself, and my brothers found a place for me to go. It was a sober living environment. It wasn't where I'm at now. I spent a year there, and I spent a year clean. It lasted about 6 weeks after I got out. I relapsed, and I relapsed hard. And I spent about 8 months stuck out there. And then my brother found a place called Faith Home, and this is where I'm currently at. It's a free rehabilitation program that's faith-based. It's partnered with United Way. And due to the fact that it's faith-based and partnered with United Way, it's a non-profit, it didn't cost me money to get into it. Because at this point in my addiction, I didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. So if they would have been charging $5 to get into the place, I wouldn't have been able to get in. I showed up with a trash bag with everything that I owned in it. And while I was at Faith Home, they taught me Christian teaching. They put a 12-step program into my life, and they showed me the value of work again, and to be productive and to be reliable, and how to be relied on as a citizen and just a general human being. Through that process, I've been able to volunteer through United Way. The Gifts in Kind Center gave me Volunteer of the Year last year. Faith Home recognized me as Employee of the Quarter for the last quarter. And I've had an awesome chance to give back and just tell people what United Way and Faith Home does. See, I'm a direct result of what people's donations can do in somebody's life. Because again, I didn't have the money to get into a place to get any kind of help. So if it wasn't for United Way partnered with a place like Faith Home, there would have been no hope for a guy like me. I'd, be dead or in prison or, who knows what. But, today I sit, I fumble with this little coin that my sponsor gave me. I'm almost 20 months clean today. And coming from a guy who couldn't spend minutes sober to almost 2 years sober, that's life-changing. United Way, they give me the opportunity to go to give back what's been so freely given to me. I always just like to tell people, I from the bottom of my heart, I greatly appreciate, what Faith Home has done for me, United Way has done for me. It's so much bigger than what people realize. It's not about getting pats in the back, but today it's about being involved in something that's bigger than me and touching people's lives. And I could spend the rest of my life trying to make it up, and I could just never make it up. And I always just like to thank people for, whatever they do, whatever they have the ability to do. And if it's nothing else, we'll take all the prayer we can get, because that's the best gift that just society in the whole can get,